no matter how many times you do this, it's still wow every single time. I think cameras, you guys have to just turn around and look. I think at the beginning, your collection is sort of an evolution of the automobile.
Automobile, yeah.
One of what, 3 or 4 remaining ones in the world?
Remaining in the world. And this car is also another car which has got a mechanical horn. Harder.
Just look at that. Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Garages of the Rich and Famous. I'm in Bengaluru today to take you into an automotive sanctuary that's one of a kind. This is a labor of love of a man who has a passion for anything automotive. Well, his garage houses over about 250 cars, maybe even more since we last counted, and probably an equal number of bikes. Excited to see it? So am I. But this is no ordinary garage. It's a garage that goes through the evolution of the automotive world, right from the first ever car built to the first ever passenger car, to classics, to vintages, to bikes. You can find it all over here. Well, I'm going to keep quiet and take you inside the legendary garage of Dr. Ravi Prakash. Dr. Ravi Prakash, thank you so much for having us here.
You're most welcome.
And agreeing to share your wonderful collection of cars. But I think this is probably a hint of what is to come. That we have a true, like you have audiophiles. This is a automobile crazy, passionate person. Everything in this room speaks auto over here. You collect, I think, just about everything on automobiles. Is that it?
I should say yes, anything related to automobile.
Yeah.
I keep picking up. My family calls me a hoarder. But for me, it's my passion. Automobile has been my passion from my younger days. But it has sort of gone beyond because my wife got into it, because it was an acquired passion that she developed. But she saw to it both my girls, Rupali and Shifali, got into the wavelength and the bandwidth of automobiles. So the whole family is involved. So for me, it's a great privilege and this thing, because usually I see you all interested in cars, but I see only boys interested in cars.
Correct.
But having girls interested in cars is a bit
amazing,
rare.
Yeah. It's a labor of love. It really is a labor of love as well. And you're right, you need all the help you can get, especially if it's a family. But let's walk and see part of your collection as well. I think at the beginning, your collection is sort of an evolution of the automobile.
Automobile, yeah.
Like walking through the history of, the automobile world. Right from the beginning, I mean, from the patent wagon. Now, this is probably one of 3 or 4 remaining ones in the world?
Remaining in the world. This was actually in an American museum that the owner passed away, and then the whole museum was put to an auction. So I picked up this patent wagon, and then I got it restored in the UK about 25 years back, and then my daughter was coming on a TR, and then I brought the little baby there. So this is the first automobile to start with.
Yeah, for those of you that don't know, this was the first automobile that started, the revolution that we see today. And Bertha Benz, there is a very interesting story behind this. She drove it because she wanted to prove the point with her 2 kids. For her husband, ran out of fuel, actually went into a pharmacy.
Yeah, got benzene.
Got benzene and ran that car to prove a point that it was worthy of being produced. I think at that time they produced only 24 or 25 of them.
25 of them is what they had produced.
Yeah. So what you're seeing is one of 25 in its lifetime, and actually only one of 4 that exists now.
This is 1860s, called popularly known as Bone Shaker, otherwise it's known as Velocipedia, where wooden wheels and steel frames. This is one of the first cycles, and this is very popular penny farthing.
Penny farthing, I remember.
Yeah, in the 1880s cycle. These I picked up in France in an auto jumble.
And when you started collecting, oh my, wow. I can see from horse-drawn, bullock-drawn carts.
Yeah, camel
Carts to carriages to just about everything in here. This is fantastic.
I started collecting primarily the cars, and I had to also complete my medicine, and then I was going overseas. All these things sort of stalled the collection. But whatever I could, and whatever money that I could spare, so I started collecting cars. And I think till the early 90s, I probably had about 25-30 cars, and maybe 1 or 2 bikes. It's only later when I started settling down, and then I got into my farming and looking after institutions and things like that, and serious practicing. So whatever monies that came in, all my monies I started putting into automobiles.
And how did it evolve to this? The fact that you wanted to go through time?
It so happened, these things, literally I never went collecting. But then there were some cars which were picked up, and then with the cars there were some carriages. So they said, you're taking the cars, why don't you take this also? I said, sir, how much do this cost? Then they said, literally next to nothing. You just take it because you're keeping it, you can keep. So some of these things were add-ons with the cars, I literally didn't spend much money, but it did cost me a little bit, not only picking them up, but also transportation from far-off places. And then my whole mind, earlier it was only on British cars and German cars. Then later, I think early 2000s, it became cars. It could be any car. And then I had some bikes, some friends had kept their bikes and cars, because I had the farm and there was enough parking space. They used to come and leave it here. And then later, when they were a little hard pressed for money, they said, why don't you, buy the cars, buy the bikes, which I didn't. I regret I didn't, because there was beautiful cars and bikes which were parked here. Probably, I would have had them all. But I said no, but I gave them back. But later, over a period of time, I've almost collected everything back.
This one is an absolute beauty. I mean, it sort of transports me back in time or to like a Wild West movie or something like that. This
is a Wagen, and this was very nicely restored by a friend. I call him my brother, Sandeep Katari. So he is the one who sort of, done all these carriages for me.
And what were these used for?
This was like, Wagen was used to, carry ladies those days because,
So I'm imagining these must have been here from the British era.
Oh yeah, these were all there from early 1800s.
And that one?
And this is a gentleman's carriage.
Yeah.
This is a gentleman's carriage, which is it's very nicely.
Oh my, wow.
done, yeah.
I can be Scarlett O'Hara and get whisked away in this.
Yeah.
I would need one of those lovely flouncy gowns. I can imagine getting in one of these It's pretty amazing.
Then you need to have a gentleman also. Right?
I have one right here. But this is really amazing. Shall we go and look at the car collection now? Okay, guys, this is going to be the most wow moment. I'm going to just shut up and open the door and show you why my jaw dropped when I looked inside. Okay, shall we let you do the honors? No matter how many times you do this, it's still wow every single time. A lot of your cars have a provenance. They have a history of owners. And is that important to you?
It is. It is because there are quite a few cars, almost about close to 100 cars were owned by the, the Maharajas and things like that, which is very, very close, because most of them I know today personally. So it was their grandfathers or fathers' cars. So it makes it much more personal because we know the family. This Studebaker Commander is another car which is very close to me because this belonged to the Karnataka poet K.V. Puttappa, popularly known as Kuvempu. This car was towed down to the junkyard to be broken down, and then somebody called me up and said this car is going to go down to the brickyard. Then I rushed from the hospital and I went there, and then I said, no, this car. He said, yes, sir. If I break this car, I will get about 25,000. Then I said, no, I'll give you a little more. Why don't you give me the car? And meantime, I said, can I have a look at the document? This person said, I think this car belongs to Mr. K.V. Puttappa. Then when I saw the documents, I was confirmed that it belongs to him. So this person said, no, I'll break it. And he sort of took the hammer to break the car. I said, no, I'm ready to buy it. He said, if you break, you'll get 25. I'll give you a little more. Why don't you give it? And I'm very happy and proud because Kuvempu is one of the very well-known poets of Karnataka. And his car is with me. I'm very, very happy. And this is Graham Maharaja of Nabha's car. It was pretty well restored before I picked up. And this is also a very interesting car, Maharani of Travancore's car, Sunbeam 25 HP and with a partition glass. And
in fact, these Grahams were outstanding cars of their time.
Yes.
For the viewers that don't know, this whole skirted fender was started by Graham cars. They were the ones that set the trend and got all the other manufacturers scrambling because it kind of hid. Like if you see this car, you see all the suspension parts and open, and they started the skirted fenders, which actually kind of created a trend and then went down the ages. So the Graham car at that time was known for that. And
very nice flowing grille,
yeah.
Grills are very nice.
The raked back grill, the skirted fenders. These were the important things about the Graham cars, and they were really style icons of their years.
Yeah. And this was also one of my early cars which I picked up. It's a 1930 Model A Ford. It was a one-owner car, Mr. Venkatachalm. He had the car, and then I bought this car and also a Ford Model A pickup. This is the Lincoln Zephyr, which originally belongs to Maharaja of Barwani, and later it was with Mr. Zahir Vakil, who is a dear friend and a mentor of mine, and I got this car from him.
And the Zephyr was again one car that was known for these grills of theirs, so it was instantly recognizable by the grill and that pointed nose that the car had.
So all the three are Lincolns. This is Zephyr, these two are Continentals, and all the three cars are V12s.
So this is your American side of collection.
I would say, yeah, partly American, but here also the Graham is also an
American car. Yeah. Do you take these cars out and
Yeah,
drive
we do.
them a lot?
We do take the car.
And what's like the longest journey that you've done?
Oh, we have done at least about 2,500 kilometers. We have driven up north. We have gone to Rana of Kutch and everywhere.
And you pick
In
certain...
fact, I took the Zephyr and went. Zephyr drove from Ahmedabad to, Rana of Kutch and all over. She did over 2,000 kilometers, even though she's a gas guzzler. So my people were telling, sir, we need to have another
petrol tank at the back.
Because she hardly used to give any.
This beauty is also another rare car, the Nurburg, yeah?
This is the Rajkot's car, and this Fiat is also Maharaja of Kutch's car. Both these cars are rare. In fact, the Rajkot's family got married in Bangalore, and I know them all well. And we sent this car for the groom to be driven.
Yeah.
I was very happy because this car has come to use with the original owners. It was a very, touching moment.
So for those of you that don't know, this is a Mercedes that had an engine that was built by Ferdinand Porsche. And it got its name Nurburg because it kind of set records around the Nürburgring at that point of time for doing like 20,000 kilometers in a record time in those days. So that's why this car was very, very iconic of its time. It's not just cars, if you see on the walls.
Enamel.
You've got radiator grills, front grills of the cars all over the walls. You've got boards from everywhere. I can see everything from tires to Premier Service to Caltex to things I haven't seen in years.
Yeah.
Ruston oil engines, yeah. I love that they have.
Horns.
Yes. Take a look.
This is a very special car. This is a Lanchester Straight 8. Originally belonged to Motilal Nehru.
Wow.
And there are 11 straight 8s in the world. And this is the oldest of all. This is a 1928.
Wow. So this is really history over here, not only because of the car, the fact that it's a straight 8, and I think Daimler was the company that kept Lanchester going because the company was about to close down and they kept it going, and then the straight 8 came. I think it has a Daimler gearbox, if I'm not mistaken.
No, the only later models.
The later models came with a Daimler gearbox.
And this is a Camaro, 68 Camaro, and this is a 66.
What engine is in there?
It's a V8 engine.
Amazing, yeah.
It's a V8, and this is also V8 66 Ford Mustang. It's a big engine. And this is a big 4 Pontiac limo. And this is a Chevy Impala, again with a V8 engine, convertible.
These were the quintessential muscle cars of those days.
These were all the muscle cars.
And that was the quintessential Hindi movie car of our time.
Yeah.
And that one...
That's a Ford Thunderbird.
While you collect these cars with history, restoration is tough. Which has been your most painful restoration?
Initially, I'll sure come to that car. This is a Wolseley 1909. This is one of the old cars in here. And this was the car which literally came as a basket case in gunny bags. And then we really have to work hard. And this was one of my first restorations. And this car is also another car which has got a mechanical horn, which we restored it. You can honk harder. You need to be a little...
Definitely need one of these on our roads, 100%. And even if you see actually the Wolseley, if you look at the lamps, they were...
It's all acetone lamps.
Yeah. May I open it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you had to kind of light up the lamps.
Light up the lamp.
You had to light up the lamps.
We have a gas tank here where we fill in acetone, then it all gets in.
And you light up the lamps, and then you would manually, you see these butterfly
the
wings here, so you would manually actually adjust the lamps to where you wanted them. No auto headlamps in those days. But like I was saying earlier, a thing that has continued through time is, if you see here, leaf springs. That is something that has remained constant over the ages, whether we talk about then or now. I know it was, imagine you had to crank up your car
Oh, yeah.
from manual cranks in those
This
days.
we have to crank up.
There's a complete joy to that sound, isn't there? I mean, it's pretty indescribable as to how much pleasure these cars actually give you when you're in and around them. Guys, if you thought this was jaw-dropping, wait till you see the next room. I mean, just look at that.
There are nice and rare bikes. There are a whole lot of bikes that are there, Douglas, and there's a BSA 1000cc twin cylinder, and there's a Sunbeam. So they, early 20s, then 30s, and these are all the 50s and 60s. That's a Harley Davidson 1000cc of the early 40s, which was used in the
war.
Yeah, it was used in the war.
It looks like that.
Yeah. And then there's a Ariel Square 4, 4-cylinder 1000cc. And there are Indians and Harley Davidsons. We have tried to place them on alphabetical order. Ariels and BSAs and BMWs, AJs. And then comes the Nortons and Indians and everything.
Amazing. Really amazing. I mean, what...
And these are all the Royal Enfields.
Yeah.
And I have Royal Enfield Constellation, which is 700 twin, and Meteor, which is 700 twin, and then all some of the British Royal Enfields. And I have some cafe racers of Royal Enfield and Jaguars and all, and some dirt bikes. And also there are two of those Ducatis.
How do you maintain this crazy collection? I mean, look at the amount of vehicles here. It cannot be easy.
Should I tell you the truth?
Yes.
Very simple. I believe in a linear system of management. I manage my wife and she manages the rest. And now I manage my wife and daughter and they manage the rest.
I really like this system. I think it works very well. I think women are great managers in any case. They know how to run the system.
This is another very interesting car. This car I was able to pick up at the first online auction in India, which happened in Jamshedpur. And because it was JRD Tata's car, there were a lot of bidders. And I finally bought this car for a little over 21 lakhs. And finally, when we brought the car, it was in pretty bad shape. And when we opened the engine, 3 of the pistons were made of wood. So then we pulled out everything.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I got pistons made in the UK, and there are a lot of parts that were all missing. I got it all down from the US, and we are doing little jobs of the other car. But I think shortly, in another month, we'll take up this car and we'll complete in the next 2-3 months. But a very special car because it belongs to the
JRD Tata.
JRD Tata.
It's a Buick.
It's a Buick. 1940. Yeah.
So this is the iconic car that started your collection.
Yeah. This is, I would say, this is what started my journey into historic vehicles. This is the most famous Sunbeam Talbot 2-liter owned by the last Viceroy of India, Lord Mountbatten. And in fact, I have pictures of Lord Mountbatten driving the car with
Jawaharlal Nehru in Shimla.
Shimla with Lady Mountbatten and his sister.
Yeah.
And this was later transferred to General Mahadevan, who was the Northern Command Chief. And from him, this car was willed to me. So this is very, very special, and I've got a lot of emotional attachment to her.
This is the iconic E-Type which I think, as we said, Enzo Ferrari said, was one of the most beautiful cars in the world. And I absolutely agree, because once you lay your eyes on this car, you just can't take them off it. It's fabulous.
This is a 61 Series 1 flat floor E-Type. I think one of the 500 odds right-hand drive made then. And this car was in Calcutta with Mr. Moman, and I picked this car up way back in the 90s. And we restored her, several times. There were little things that were all...
They're very finicky cars.
Yeah, very temperamental.
Very temperamental, yes.
And she's also driven a lot. And then I think she's one of the nice cars that we have.
So this is the Mark 1, is what gave birth to the Mini name, actually. So that's where it came in from. Before them, they were like Austins, but then they became Minis.
So we have another Austin Mini Cooper.
Mm-hmm.
Then we also have an Austin Traveler.
Oh, lovely. Yeah.
And we have a Sunbeam Alpine. This is a Jaguar XK 140. This is a Triumph TR3A. And that's a Austin Healey 106 and an MGTC.
The 106 is also a lovely car.
Very
lovely
nice
car.
Very
Lovely
nice
car.
This was ex-Gondel's car. These are Austin Traveler. This is another Austin. And this is a Peugeot 304. And these two are Alfa Romeos. This is Alfa Romeo Giulia. And this is a Giulietta with the Burton body.
Iconic cars of their time as well.
And that's an MG GT. And that's another nice car, a little rare car, Fiat X19 Burton body.
And this one?
Austin Chummy.
Mm-hmm.
This is a 27. And that is a 26 Austin Chummy.
I see all your walls are adorned with something. Over there we saw grills. Over here we see
radiators.
wheels, radiators, the steering wheel.
And then you have enamel signs all over.
Yeah.
This is one of the rarest enamel signs of a insurance company.
As you can see, there's passion for automobile almost everywhere, on every wall, in every square inch of this place. But now we're going to take a drive. Ah, the sound. What was it about these cars that gave you that feeling?
It's just that bringing back these cars to life, and it's like me being a doctor. Just when you deliver a baby, when the baby comes into this world and then cries. So this is like this. When you redo the whole car and she comes into life, it's like baby crying for life. It's a different kind of emotion feeling.
Is there a particular car that you've kind of had on your list for a very long time that you haven't been able to get and you still want and you're just trying to get it?
Yeah, there are a few cars on my list, but I don't like to spell them out. But the day I get it, I'll say I've got it. Yes.
They sing to you and a manual, which is nice. Stick shift. cannot imagine anybody doing quick getaways in these cars, especially if they have to make a U-turn.
So you had a Brit babe, you had American babe.
And now we go for the German. How often do you have to kind of, especially chrome work and all, a lot of it must be having to be made, right?
Yeah,
and fabricated.
No, but some of these cars are really good that way. You really don't require.
Yet another garage full of beauties.
I'm an ardent Merc fan. I do have a few BMW 7 Series and 5 Series, but they're all parked up. I don't use them. And Audi Q7 also. But I'm a very, very, very strong, ardent fan of Mercedes. The first car I bought, Mercedes, was when I was 29. I bought an old 300, which I do still have. Then I went on buying cars. In fact, I have a 124 coupe 300 CE AMG. And in fact, sometimes everybody tells me because there was this bomb blast in Bombay and all the shares came down. So I had a huge amount of Infosys, Tisco and digital shares. I sold them all. And I bought this car in the UK. Everybody said you should have kept the shares and you could have bought, hundreds of cars every year. But then at that point in time,
that was
brought a coupe. It was the only coupe in Bangalore and I enjoyed. So what we are meant to, it always, that's what is going to happen. I have altogether about 54 Mercs of all eras, and I enjoy them. I thoroughly enjoy them. And we have 2 cars also from Rashtrapati Bhavan, which was owned by K.R. Narayanan and Shankar Dayal Sharma.
Okay.
So 2 cars of theirs.
The bulletproof versions?
Those days they were not doing that heavy bulletproof. It's only now I do have few other bulletproof cars, but it was not from the Rashtrapati Bhavan. I do have a Mr. Birla's car. I have S600, which are V12s and few 500s and things like that. I just love them.
We really, from our hearts, appreciate you sharing this collection with us and our viewers over here, who I'm sure are completely overjoyed at seeing this. And you spent the whole day showing it to us, letting us drive with them in you. It's been a fantastic experience. We wish you all the very best for the museum.
It's a pleasure having you all over.
We'll be back as you keep adding your cars to your collection. We hope you keep adding them.
Thank you.
Thank you.